Okay, so now we are going to review Units 7 and 8. So open your student's book to page 108, and, let me open it to one page, display it to one page, and then zoom in. Okay, so we are going to do a listening activity first, and you can see a chart here. So as you listen, take notes on job skills that you need for an electronics store and job skills that you need for a restaurant. And then also take other notes as well, because I will ask additional questions. Okay, here we go.
7 and 8. Page 108. Exercise 1.
Good evening, class. I've invited 2 business owners to our class to describe job skills that are important for their businesses. I'd like to introduce Len Sullivan, the owner of Sullivan's Electronics, and Cora Zimmer, the owner of Zimmer's Restaurant. First, let's hear from Mr. Sullivan.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. So, talking about job skills, I would say that first and most importantly, my employees need to have good communication skills. That's true for the salespeople on the floor as well as the ones working in customer service. And at the same time, I expect my people to be good listeners. I've been working in this business for 25 years, and I've hired a lot of people in that time. And I can tell you, my best employees are the ones who really know how to listen to customers and respond to their needs. And now the third important skill is that my employees need to be good problem solvers. They have to deal with all sorts of problems every day, and I expect them to work things out and find good solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Now, let's listen to Ms. Zimmer and find out what skills are important in the restaurant business.
Thank you so much for inviting me. One important skill my employees need is to manage their time effectively. Restaurant work is very fast-paced and exhausting, so the waiters and also the cooks have to be good time managers. Another important job skill for my employees is good communication skills, just as Mr. Sullivan said. I want my employees to understand instructions and also be able to talk to our customers. Finally, I need employees who can train others in their job duties.
Thank you both. I know the class is very interested in your comments. And now, I'd like to open this up for questions. Class, do you have questions that you would like to ask?
Okay, so we're going to listen to that one more time.
Units 7 and 8. Page 108. Exercise 1.
Good evening, class. I've invited 2 business owners to our class to describe job skills that are important for their businesses. I'd like to introduce Len Sullivan, the owner of Sullivan's Electronics, and Cora Zimmer, the owner of Zimmer's Restaurant. First, let's hear from Mr. Sullivan.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. So, talking about job skills, I would say that first and most importantly, my employees need to have good communication skills. That's true for the salespeople on the floor as well as the ones working in customer service. And at the same time, I expect my people to be good listeners. I've been working in this business for 25 years, and I've hired a lot of people in that time. And I can tell you, my best employees are the ones who really know how to listen to customers and respond to their needs. And now the third important skill is that my employees need to be good problem solvers. They have to deal with all sorts of problems every day, and I expect them to work things out and find good solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Now, let's listen to Ms. Zimmer and find out what skills are important in the restaurant business.
Thank you so much for inviting me. One important skill my employees need is to manage their time effectively. Restaurant work is very fast-paced and exhausting, so the waiters and also the cooks have to be good time managers. Another important job skill for my employees is good communication skills, just as Mr. Sullivan said. I want my employees to understand instructions and also be able to talk to our customers. Finally, I need employees who can train others in their job duties.
Thank you both. I know the class is very interested in your comments. And now, I'd like to open this up for questions. Class?
Okay,
Do you have
so
questions that you would like
let's
to ask?
look at the chart. But first, let me ask you, who is talking? Who is talking? Okay, so you might say Len Sullivan and Cora Zimmer are talking. Len Sullivan and Cora Zimmer are talking. You could also say the lecturer is introducing Len Sullivan and Cora Zimmer. Okay, so a lecturer is, of course, someone who gives a lecture, and that's usually a professor or a speaker. Okay, so let me ask another question. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? Okay, so we can say they are talking about job skills. They are talking about job skills. Okay, so now I want you to make a question, and the answer is 25 years. 25 years. Okay, so you could ask, how long has Mr. Sullivan or Len Sullivan been working in this business? How long has Len Sullivan been working in this business? Or you could also say in the industry or in his business. But he said, I've been working in this business for 25 years. So you need to use present perfect continuous. So again, you can ask the question, how long has Len Sullivan been working in this business? Okay. Now, where does he work? Where does he work? Okay, he works at Sullivan's Electronics. Actually, he's the owner of Sullivan's Electronics. And of course, the business has his name in it. And then let me ask the same for Cora Zimmer. Where does she work? Okay, we can say she works at Zimmer's restaurant, or she's the owner of Zimmer's restaurant. She's the owner. Okay, and now let's look at the chart. So what job skills are required for an electronics store? What job skills are required for an electronics store? Okay, so we can say good communication skills are required. Good communication skills are required. And the second one was good listening skills. Good listening skills. You could also just write good listener, but since we're talking about skills, it's better to say good listening skills. And then the third one, good problem solving skills. Good problem solving skills, or good problem solvers. Okay. And then what job skills are required for a restaurant? Okay, so we can say good time management skills. Good time management skills. Or Ms. Zimmer said, manage time efficiently. I'm sorry, effectively. Manage time effectively. So if you want, you can use a verb phrase. So start with the verb, manage time efficiently. Now these are noun phrases. Let's see, number 5, we could say good communication skills, just like the first one in this column. So good communication skills. And then finally, good or ability to train others in job duties. Ability to train others. Or again, you can start with a verb and you can say train others in job duties. Train others in job duties. Okay, now there were some adjectives that Ms. Zimmer used to describe restaurant work. She used fast-paced, which of course means the pace is fast. So it means that restaurant work is very fast-moving. And the other adjective she used was exhausting. So if you noticed, those adjectives end with ed and ing. And if you remember from our lesson C, we talked about participles as adjectives. So usually when we talk about people's feelings, we use an ed ending. And when we talk about things or situations, then we use ing. But in this case, you notice that fast-paced ends with ed, but it's talking about a situation. It's talking about restaurant work. So that's an exception. It's a unique word because we normally use fast-paced for things, not people. Restaurant work is fast-paced, or we could say technology is fast-paced. So fast-paced is an adjective we normally use for situations or people or things. And exhausting, of course, it ends in ing, and it describes a thing. It describes restaurant work. Okay, so let's look at exercise 2, grammar. Okay, so we are going to complete the story using the correct phrases, and then make questions for the words that are underlined as the answers. Okay, so her scanner is the answer, and you have to make a question. So you know what to do. Go ahead and pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay, so let me go ahead and read the story. Joni's problem. Joni is at the electronics store. She has been talking with a clerk in customer service for the past 15 minutes. She wants to return a scanner. He told her she could exchange the scanner. However, Joni has been looking at scanners for several months, and she still hasn't found another one she likes. She wants a refund. The clerk has just called his manager this minute to see if Joni can get a refund, but the manager is not in his office, and that's a little weird. Office should be together. This situation is very frustrating for Joni. She's tired and wants to go home. Okay, so let's take a look at the questions. So number 1, the answer is Joni wants to return her scanner. So if we make a question, we can say, what does Joni want to return? What does Joni want to return? Number 2, Joni has been talking to the clerk for 15 minutes. Okay, so we can ask, how long has Joni been talking to the clerk? How long has Joni been talking to the clerk? And then number 3, the customer service clerk says that she can exchange the scanner. So we can ask, who says that she can exchange the scanner? Who says that she can exchange the scanner? Okay, and then finally, number 4, Joni went to the store on Saturday afternoon. So we can ask, when did Joni go to the store? When did Joni go to the store? Okay, so we're going to move on to page 109. Page 109. Okay, so we're going to talk about pronunciation, stressing function words. So if you read here, it says, normally, function words such as pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, articles, to be verbs, and auxiliary verbs are not stressed. However, when strong feelings or disagreements are expressed, function words can receive strong stress. Okay, so listen to the stressed function words in each conversation. Okay, I'm going to play this audio clip and pay attention to the underlined words, which are function words. Okay, here we go. Let me move this here. Whoa, that did something weird.
Page 109. Exercise 3A. 1.
Is the camera defective?
It's defective and too small.
2.
Don't you usually finish at 5 o'clock?
I do usually finish at 5 o'clock, but not today.
3.
Why aren't you applying for that job?
I am. I'll go there tomorrow.
4.
I don't trust the man who sold you this car.
Well, I do. It's my decision, not yours.
5.
Is he excited about his new job?
No, but his wife is.
6.
Did you put the returned merchandise on my desk?
No, I put it in your desk.
Okay, so let me close this and explain. Okay, so normally we stress content words, not function words. You know, content words are words like nouns, main verbs, adverbs, adjectives, negatives, and question words. And those are the ones we normally stress. So if you remember from our review last time, review of units 5 and 6, we stressed content words. And in this unit or this lesson, we are stressing function words. So if we ask, for example, is the camera defective? So we want to say it's defective and too small. So not only is it defective, but it's also too small. So we are trying to stress this word because there is a problem in addition to being defective. Okay, and oops. Okay, so this is a strong feeling. And if you look at number 2, this is like a confirmation. It's not like a disagreement or a strong feeling. It's more of a confirmation. So if someone asks, don't you usually finish at 5 o'clock? Then you want to confirm, yeah, I do usually finish at 5, but not today. And same thing here. Why aren't you applying for that job? I am. I'll go there tomorrow. So these situations are more of a confirmation. And then this one is more of a disagreement, as it says here. I don't trust the man who sold you this car. Well, I do. It's my decision, not yours. So this is a disagreement. And then we can also use it for corrections to misunderstandings, or just even if it's not a misunderstanding, just when you're correcting someone, you might stress function words as well, like this. Did you put the returned merchandise on my desk? No, I put it in your desk. Not on, but in. So this is correcting. Okay, and then let's look at exercise B. Listen and repeat. Okay, so I'm going to play this audio clip. So repeat what you hear and then underline the stressed function words. Okay, here we go.
Page 109. Exercise 3B. 1.
I'd like to exchange this sweater.
Why?
It's too big, and it has a hole.
Okay, so you should have underlined and.
2.
You can't leave early again.
Yes, I can. And I will.
Okay, so you should have underlined can and will.
3.
Why don't you clean the counters?
Why don't you?
Okay, so you should have underlined you.
4.
Let's talk about a raise after you've worked here for 6 months.
Can we talk before 6 months?
Okay, so in this case, you should have underlined before because it's a correction, not after, but before. Okay, so let's move on to exercise C. Okay, practice the conversations and pay attention to the stressed function words. So they're all underlined already, so you just need to practice emphasizing those. So you can go ahead and pause the video and practice, and then play it when you're finished, and I'll read it for you. Okay, number 1. We don't give refunds or exchanges on watches. My warranty says you can if the merchandise is defective. So is it defective? Yes, it is. Then I can give you a refund. Okay? And then number 2. Who just mopped the floors, you or Kevin? I did. And I cleaned the tables. So actually, in this case, you should also stress I, but this one's a content word, not a function word. That's probably why it's not underlined. But the question is asking you or Kevin. So, of course, we would emphasize I. So I did. And I cleaned the tables. I didn't just mop the floors. I also cleaned the tables. That's why the and is stressed. Good work. I do enjoy seeing a clean bakery. And I love working here. Now, this is a little strange because it's a content word, but it's underlined. And I think it's underlined because they want to show that normally we wouldn't emphasize it this much. Just we would say, and I love working here. But this is in response to what the person said here. Actually, it should say B, not A. But anyway, so this person is responding to what person A is saying. So you love this and I love this. Okay. So let's look at exercise D. Actually, with exercise D, you can do this on your own, and we are going to finish Unit 8 and begin Unit 9 next time. So I'll see you then.